makes more money, you or Sam? Have you ever thought you were pregnant -- like taken a pregnancy test? Have you and Sam ever struggled with cultural differences? Do you and Sam drink alcohol? Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a Q&A, but specifically questions I've never answered. I've been on YouTube what feels like a long time, and I feel like I've answered a lot of questions, so I really try to find ones I've never answered, never talked about. So hopefully it will be good. So you can grab yourself a snack, a cup of coffee, and we can sit down and chat together. I did ask you guys on my Instagram for some questions, so if you're not following me over there, definitely do it. I've been posting a lot about my garden, my coffee, just my life, my house, so many different things, and I love to keep you guys updated on my stories, and I specifically just started posting a lot of reels, which has been really, really fun. Before we hop into the questions, I want to thank Karma for sponsoring today's video. If you like to shop and save money, then stay tuned because they are the best for that. So with all that being said, let's get started into a couple of questions. Okay, so we are starting off with a big question, and it says, when do you want to have kids? So right now, I would say probably in 2 years-ish. Obviously that timing could change. We are open to whatever God is open to, and I am so excited to have kids. Like, I probably think about it every single day. So of course, I'll take any timing that he has. If we could plan a timeline, I think that would be it. So from all the questions that I was reading, there were 3 questions that kept repeating themselves. And one of them was, are you guys gonna stay in Atlanta forever? Would you ever move back to Tennessee? Are you moving somewhere else? So many questions about our future and where we really wanna like plant our roots, I guess. And my answer to you is, we do not know. This is something we've been praying about. And that we've really been considering, and we are really open to where God wants us, and we still don't know the answer to that. I feel like we've got a lot of pulls with everywhere we've been considering. And yeah, I mean, who knows? It could be like Texas or something. Most likely not. But we've really been trying to be open to that and continue to pray about it. I know we've got plenty of time. And I'm not really concerned, but we do know that during this season of our life, we're definitely supposed to be here in Atlanta, and we've really seen God work through that. And so that's my answer. I'm sorry that it's not super direct, but I literally don't have an answer for you. Okay, so somebody asked, what are your plans and goals for your YouTube channel in the future? Do you ever see yourself quitting? So I don't know if I've answered this question before, but I don't see myself doing YouTube forever. I don't know when I would quit. I don't know if I want to continue YouTube when I have kids. I do love this job. I love the flexibility, and I love the creativity behind it. And I might move into another stream of media. I'm really not sure, and it's something I've been considering, but I don't see myself doing this forever until I'm like 50. But I have been planning new things, so I'm still working on it and still doing it as if I'm going to be doing it for another 10 years. So it's really just up to what the Lord has in mind for me, for our family, and for our lives. This question is, would you ever consider adopting a child? And the answer is yes. I would absolutely consider that. I used to want 7 kids. That's been brought down to 4, but I think for Sam, 4 is a max, but for me, 4 is the minimum. I just want to make sure that we never get to the point of where we have so many kids where me and Sam can't raise them well or love each one well. So I don't know what that looks like, and I also am terrified of giving birth, so who knows how many we will have. So this question is, do you ever wish you chose a different career? So do I ever wish I went to like a traditional job or something other than YouTube? And the answer is no. A lot of my friends are in the corporate world. That's just what happens when you live in big cities. And my husband is in the corporate world, and I could never ever do that. I've always been more independent minded. I've always wanted to either own my own business or start something on my own. Like, I've always wanted to be my own boss, the person that's in charge. But that does come with its downfalls because everything's on you. You're in charge of everything. You're responsible for everything. But I'm just kind of driven and wired that way. So no, I don't wish I would have chosen a different career, because with this career, I can choose anything I could ever want, which is really fun, and I don't like being put in a box, and I feel like corporate world is a very tight box. Before we move on to the next question, I do want to talk to you guys about Karma. They are sponsoring today's video. I've worked with them so many times because I genuinely love them. So if you don't know what Karma is a free Chrome extension or an app that allows you to save money when you shop. So when you download Karma, it can help you in so many ways. One, it automatically scans the web for coupon codes. So when you're checking out, you can click the little button and it will scan the web for codes and find something, and that feature has helped me so much and I use it all the time. You can plan and organize your shopping by saving items from 50,000 plus stores to your shopping lists, which makes it so easy and keeps things organized. And then you'll get a real-time notification if any of the items that you saved has a price drop or it goes back in stock. So I was actually shopping online at American Eagle and I saw this really cute top, but it was not on sale. So I saved it to my Karma list and I told them to notify me when it goes on sale. I got the notification that it was 30% off and I purchased it, and that is how I use Karma and save money, and I love it and it has helped me so much. So before we get back into the questions, you guys can go down to the description box and click on the link and download Karma's free Chrome extension, and you can actually start shopping all these spring sales going on. Do you guys budget every month? So I would say we don't have a really strict budget on what we can spend, but we do have an idea of what we do want to be spending, what we don't want to be spending, how much we want to save, and all of that. But for the past 2 months, we've really been honing down on our income. Now that we have a house and we are really settled, we have recently been budgeting, but not very specifically with numbers. We're just looking at our income. Okay, how much do we save? Do we do a good job with that? And then I think from there we plan on creating a budget, because me and Sam are very savings oriented. We like to be smart with our money. We don't want to spend money that we don't have, and we don't want to live above our means and have lifestyle inflation. So yes and no is my answer to that. This question's funny. It says, who makes more money, you or Sam? So every month with YouTube, it's very different. Sam is a salary job, I am not. So some months I make more, but I would say most months he makes more, I think is a good way to put that. Okay, so this next question is, would you launch a podcast? And I'll just say that's something in the works. Okay, so this question is, did you ever go to parties in high school? And yes, I went to one. Okay, let me just preface this. I would not recommend going to a party in high school. I was definitely not the typical high school girl. I did not care about parties. I was not into that. I was a believer in high school, so I think that has a lot to do with it. So the only party I ever went to was actually after my senior prom, which was the only prom I ever went to. I was practically dragged to prom. I did not want to go to prom either, but I felt like I would regret it, so I did it. And I don't know why I did it, because I almost regret doing it. But anyway, so I knew that there would be alcohol there. I knew I did not at all plan to drink. I was just there to, I guess, kind of please people. A lot of people were like, oh my gosh, you just need to come, just come, just come. So I was like, okay, I'll go. So I went and I stayed for an hour and then I left. And what was very interesting about that party, that I will say that was just kind of sad, is that one, so many people try to get me to drink and try to pressure me into it. And I was just like, no, I'm not gonna drink. And then what was really sad was that after everyone had been drinking a lot and they were pretty much drunk, I had so many people be like, I respect you that you're not drinking. I wish I could do that. And it's just so sad to me that so many people felt like they had to drink to be cool, to fit in, or to get away from any feelings they were feeling. And yeah, so I ended up leaving because it's not fun being the only sober person wherever you are. But that is my one party in high school story. Okay, this next question is very interesting. And it says, have you and Sam ever struggled with cultural differences? So my husband is from the country of Colombia, which is in South America. So his family is Hispanic. And yes, we have struggled with cultural differences. I don't know if I would necessarily say oh my gosh, it's such a burden and a struggle, but it was something I wasn't expecting. I didn't think about his family being Hispanic, that it would be different from my upbringing, but it was very different. And I definitely had to learn how his family works, if that makes sense. We don't really ever have cultural differences in our marriage. It's really just from our backgrounds. And that's just because Sam grew up in the United States. So it's not like he grew up in a different country and then came here and then we got married. That would have been really difficult, I think, for our marriage. So we've felt it outwardly, but not necessarily between the two of us, if that makes sense. Okay, so this question says, why don't you show your friends? And you guys probably think I've got 0 friends, but I really don't show my friends because I want to respect their privacy. I don't really enjoy filming around other people, to be honest. I'm really a private person and I don't want to show those parts of my life on the internet. Okay, this next question is, have you ever thought you were pregnant -- like taken a pregnancy test? And yes, only once, and I was freaking out. Not like I had any signs or symptoms, though I did believe I did. I was like, my boobs hurt, but that was just in my head. It's just because I didn't like believe that birth control actually worked. I was like, there's no way that me taking a pill every day will actually stop me from getting pregnant, but it does. That's crazy. So I just needed like the affirmation once that I wasn't pregnant, and then I was fine. I literally was panicked like the whole day, and I was actually vlogging that day. I remember I was trying to like keep my cool, and so I was like, I think the only way to make myself feel better is by taking a pregnancy test. So I did that and it was negative and I was fine, and I have not worried once since, like literally not since then. So almost a whole year I've not been worried about it. Okay, so the most asked question from this whole Q&A is, do you and Sam drink alcohol? So I don't think I've ever talked about my thoughts on alcohol on here. So I want to come at this from a biblical perspective. And a lot of the questions were like, can Christians drink? Is it sinful to drink? And I really want to encourage you to listen to this all the way through. So please listen to my whole thing about this, not just like one point. The question is, can Christians drink? Yes, but there are very specific instructions around drinking biblically. So I kind of put them into bullet points. And also I will link a really great resource to this. It's a podcast down below, and I think they do a much better job of explaining it than me. The first thing is, that's very clear in scripture, is do not get drunk. And I would include being buzzed and tipsy in that category. It's very clear, there's no confusion around it. You should not get drunk. You should not drink to get drunk. That is not the point of drinking. You should not drink if you are underaged. That just comes from Romans 13 and following the law of the land. And yeah, so you might not agree with the law, you might not like it, you might feel like you need to fit in, but if you're underaged, you should not drink. Also, you should not drink alcohol around those who struggle with alcohol. And this also comes from Romans. It's just simply, do not cause a brother to stumble. If somebody has struggled with that in their past, you don't want to put that in front of them. It's just like if you're on a diet, right, and you're trying to cut out sugar, and someone comes in the door and is just eating chocolate cake, and you just love chocolate cake, like that is your thing that just gets you. It's like your vice. It's not kind of that person to eat that cake in front of you, especially if they know it. Also, do not drink around someone else that feels convicted about drinking alcohol. It's just not kind. So that comes from 1 Corinthians, from the idea of like, if someone believes that eating meat from idols is wrong, then do not eat meat around them. So within those parameters, I think that having a glass of wine with dinner can be okay. I would never say that drinking as a whole is a sin, but for some people it can be. In some circumstances, it can be. I think there's very clear parameters. I did not have really anything but like a sip of alcohol until my honeymoon, and that's just because we went into an all-inclusive resort, and so I was able to try a lot of different things. And honestly, I still prefer a virgin pina colada. Like if I go out and I've got a pina colada, it's gonna be virgin, because to me it's just so much better. And I'm not there for the alcohol, I'm there for the deliciousness of the drink, and to me alcohol ruins it. But every once in a while I might have a glass of wine with dinner. So yes, Christians can drink with the parameters, and for some it may be a sin, for some it may not, but there are very clear instructions from scripture as to how you should do it, and ultimately be loving and kind to those around you. Those are my thoughts on that. That's a very quick put together, and I hope I didn't miss anything. Those are all of the questions I'm going to answer today. I hope I answered one of your questions, and I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram and to also download Karma down below with my link in the description box. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.